Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back. I'm back with another recipe, and today we're making cassava bread. For this recipe, we're going to be using one cassava and one coconut, and of course, some other ingredients that I'm going to show you guys later. Now, we're going to start with cracking the coconut and peeling the cassava. I tried using a meat tenderizer to crack the coconut, but it wasn't working, so I went outside in the driveway to do it. Now we're going to remove the coconut from the shells, okay? And we're going to cut them into small pieces, just like so. So now that we have the coconut cut up into small pieces, we're going to rinse it and set it aside. Now we're going to peel the cassava and cut it into small pieces as well. We're going to rinse it and set it aside. Now for this recipe, we're supposed to use freshly grated cassava and coconut. But I do not have a grater at home, so we're going to use the food processor to do the job. If you have a grater, go right ahead and use it. Now we have our cassava all nicely cut up and clean. We're going to have right to the food processor and add in the coconut pieces. We're going to process until we get the texture of grated coconut. That looks good. Now we're going to transfer it to a bowl and set it aside. Into the same food processor, we're going to add the cassava pieces. We're going to process the cassava until smooth. Transfer it to a bowl and set it aside. Now we have our cassava and coconut ready. We're going to hop right into the best part. Into a bowl, we're going to add 1/2 stick of butter. That should equal 1/2 cup and 1/4 of a cup. Just in case you were using one of those big tub of butter that isn't ready butter. Now we're going to add in 2 cups of sugar, 3 eggs, and then we're going to use our hand mixer to mix on the lowest speed. Now if you don't have a mixer, you can use a silicone spatula or any kind of cooking spoon for mixing. Just be sure to leave the butter out at room temperature for about an hour or two to soften before starting. We're going to keep mixing for about 2 minutes until smooth. Now that we have the butter, sugar, and eggs all mixed together, we're going to add in 2 cups of the grated cassava, 1 cup of the grated coconut, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of milk. Now we're going to grab our hand mixer again and we're going to mix all that together on low speed for about 1.5 to 2 minutes. Be mindful not to overmix, okay? This is cassava bread, not a cake. Now that we have all of our ingredients nicely combined, we're going to grease our baking pan. I'm using a 9 by 13 and I greased it with about a tablespoon of butter. We're going to give that batter one last good mix and pour all of it into our greased baking pan. I like to use the spatula to spread it out evenly. Now we're going to transfer it into a preheated oven and bake at 350 degrees on the middle rack for 45 minutes to an hour. After the 45 minutes, I like to check it to see if it's ready. I'll stick a toothpick in the middle of the bread. And if the toothpick comes out clean, that means the bread's ready. At this point, the bread was done and cooked all the way through. But I wanted mine a little more golden, so I pop it back in the oven for another 15 minutes. Now look at that. Absolutely delicious. I let it rest for about 7 to 10 minutes before cutting into it. And it was moist. Buttery, tender, juicy, and crispy around the edges. Just how we love it. I had to take a bite, y'all. I couldn't resist. But you just get into this bread one more time. Get into it. Get into it. Look at it. So delicious. Thanks for watching, beautiful people. And I'll catch you guys later.